if you people have something against me, at least consider my arguments. This is one of my core arguments, trying to plead with humanity to do the right thing before they face disgrace in God's presence forever. The fire, as we see in Daniel, Isaiah, and other chapters, they start to describe what the fire is. In Revelation, the lake of fire, it's the presence of God, and you're in disgrace in his presence. I believe it's Daniel 7. And read Revelation 16 through the end. Okay. So, if you don't love God, okay, you don't love your family, because God is the source of love. Where does this love come from? Okay? How much more people who claim to love God? People who claim that they love God and that they'll die for God if they say that they need to deny their faith or take the chip. You deny the righteous leader his right to lead. The wages of sin is death. I'm sure you've heard that. What is the wages of being the most righteous person who can prove it? If I was taking martial arts as a karate guy and I had all kinds of, I was a 10th Dan or whatever it's called, and I could break a huge stack of bricks, that would be proof that I was that type of martial artist. Being able to beat any martial artist without them approving of my form shows that I'm more intelligent than them, more spiritual power, more romantic prowess, more mental prowess. For the same reason, Exodus 15:3 says, the Lord is a warrior. I've proven spiritual power. Everyone's supposed to submit and obey, especially in these dangerous times. When the times are dangerous, that's when you're especially supposed to submit and obey. Because they didn't submit and obey, they don't love their families. They're shallow. They lack virtue. Ver and virtue means man. And they're raising their children to be like them or worse. In a time where technology is accelerating quickly, they can remotely hack the brain. You see this stuff, the patents and so on. They can do all kinds of stuff to this effect. Think about it. You not only are too shallow to love God, you claim that you do at times, some of you, and you claim to love your family. If you're too shallow to love God and die for God, you're too shallow to love your family and die for them. And you're raising them to be like you. So even if you're crazy enough to die for them, if it came up, then you're dying for someone who's too shallow to love God, the source of love, morality, justice, righteousness, etc. That's a sickness, not love. You should run and not walk to submit to me. And if you're too stupid to do that, at least run and not walk to go to the doctor or whatever and get your tubes tied and stop reproducing shallow people who are evil. Two words come to mind: spectrum and complicity. Meditate on these words. What does it mean? When you consider the spectrum of evil and complicity, the spectrum of sin, where do you fall on the spectrum? Where and why? And don't let the excuse be because you love your family. That's stupid. If you do not love God enough to die for him and put your family first, you do not love your family. And you're raising them to not love their family. And the cycle continues.